What's up, everybody? Today we're going to be going over the second half of the Pinnacle weapons. We're starting with Randy's, and then we'll go into Not Forgotten, and then we'll go into Mountaintop, which, you know, it's Mountaintop, so we have a lot to cover on that one. But before we kind of go over Randy's, I do apologize for not having redrix. I have the weapon, but when I was playing with it, I really have never played with redrix before, and when I was kind of playing with it a little bit, I didn't really like the feel of it. I didn't feel like the weapon really was needed. I mean, it's a decent weapon. You can get if you get the perk to proc, you can kind of go ham on opponents, but you know, for the most part, you have to get that precision kill, which it might not happen all the time. But overall, redrix was just a decent weapon. But now, let's get straight into this. So, as you can see in the background gameplay, I'm using Randy's throwing knife. This is a pursuit weapon, and what I was finding while using this is that this weapon kind of sucks. That's all I'm going to say. It's a scout rifle. There are so many better scout rifles to use other than Randy's. Like Mida multi-tool. Mida's so much better, and I prefer using Mida over this weapon. This weapon is just, it's one of the pursuit weapons, you know, and originally it was kind of good, you know, people were able to use it, but now it just sucks. Alright, it's just absolutely god-awful, and I don't recommend using this in Crucible. But if you need scout rifle kills, you don't have any other scout rifles but this, use it. This weapon, though, you know, not really much to really cover. It just awful. Don't get it. Alright, so now we're gonna go over Not Forgotten, which is basically the buffed ranged version of Luna's Howl. Meaning this thing has a lot more range, and basically does the same thing as Luna's Howl. Now, like the Luna's Howl, this basically gives you a damage buff when you hit 2 consecutive headshots. Which, since they're 140s, I'm not sure if you can one-shot to the body after getting those 2 headshots, or if you still have to get 3 headshots. But the range on this thing, regardless, it just feels really good. Like, it almost feels like a Crimson. Like the runs like a Crimson would have. You know? Like, I'm hitting shots all the way across there, and they're dealing full damage, you know, on this map, you know, on Anomaly. I'm hitting full shots there, and they just feel amazing. Like, they deal the amount of damage that, like, a Crimson would deal at that range. Because of the 140 hand cannon range buff. And, you know, if you kind of watch at this range, I'm dealing 64 at that range. This weapon, just like Luna's Howl, it feels amazing. You know, like, I would definitely recommend you getting this weapon, even if, you know, you can't use this in regular, or not regular, but even if you can't use this in Trials or Iron Banner, just use this thing in regular Crucible. It feels amazing. Its stability is still good. Its range is even better than Luna's Howl. And I really recommend this weapon. There's not much else to say other than that. Not Forgotten has become even better than what I remember from from my earlier days playing with this weapon when it was 150. Though I do want to say that there probably are better setups. Obviously, I'm using Hawthorns, which I didn't have a good kinetic shotgun really to use with this, and I don't like slugs too much. But you know, if you're gonna use Not Forgotten, definitely I would use a shotgun. Don't use a sniper unless you're playing on a really long range map like Rusted Lands. And even then, you probably could still use a shotgun in this weapon because of the amount of range this weapon has. You can't really get too close ranged with this weapon, unlike Luna's Howl, because Luna's Howl has less range, so you're gonna get less range, so you're gonna be able to kill people a bit closer to you. But if you look in that background gameplay, I'm hitting them 3 shots and killing them all the way from that back room, entrance right here, and I'm killing them. Like, it just the weapon's range is just unreal. Alright, the last one we're going to go over, and the one that I definitely am going to really enjoy talking about, is the Mountaintop. This used to be one of my main weapons. Yes, I know, you all can hate me in the comments, but I used to use this thing along with Not Forgotten, because of how good the weapon was, before Beyond Light. It was, in terms of, you know, the blast radius, which they nerfed, you could hit people at absurd ranges and get them absolute. There wasn't any zoom offset, so it wasn't like you had to worry about, you know, oh, it's gonna really missing your shot because of how straight the grenade went, you know. But now in Beyond Light, this thing, I would say, has become decent. It is a former shell of what it once was, and if you're going to use a grenade launcher, sure, use this weapon. Definitely put Icarus grip on it, because I was an idiot in recording this, and I actually didn't use Icarus grip on this. But if you're going to use this weapon, use Icarus grip, so all you have to do is hit your shot. And that's the thing with this now, is you have to hit your shots more often now. You can't just, oh, I have a bunch of room for error in my shot. No. Now with this weapon, you have to pretty much hit your shot 90% of the time. Because if you don't, you won't deal as much damage because of the reduced blast radius, and it won't kill. It just won't kill. Plain and simple. But I still recommend getting this weapon, you know, trying it out for yourself. You know, because you can see in the background gameplay, you know, I can hit them and I can still kind of recover a bit. Though I definitely would say now with the current meta and 120s kind of being able to do some damage, I would definitely say pair this with a 120 RPM hand cannon, and then, like, you know, you hit your shot, maybe you don't kill him, but you know, you can just finish him off with a body shot from a 120, which is kind of almost like the point of the stag. You know, with the point of the stag, you hit a headshot, and then you finish him off with the body shot with a 120 RPM hand cannon. But, you know, this weapon definitely, like I've said, requires you to hit your shots more often. But overall, I would say it's a decent weapon. And I would definitely recommend that you do get this weapon. You know, you should get all the Pinnacle weapons, plain and simple. But whether or not you should use them in Crucible, I would say Not Forgotten, Luna's Howl, Point of the Stag, maybe Mountaintop, and maybe Redrix. Point of the Stag, you know, there's just some you should use, some you shouldn't. That kind of really will define your play, and it kind of really depends on your play style, you know. Like you gotta the weapons kind of define your play style, you know. If you're using Not Forgotten or Luna's Howl, you know, you're playing a bit more, you might be playing a bit more aggressive or passive depending on what map it is, you know. But like I said, get all the Pinnacle weapons and try them out for yourself. This is just my opinions, and that's gonna be it for this video, and this is gonna be part 2. If you like this video, go ahead, leave a like, subscribe to the channel. I'll be posting more content soon, and I'm out. Peace.